Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be doing a live commentary because, well, to be honest, having to grind through all of the festive quests, like the pilots and the tanks ones, it doesn't leave a lot of room for me to be able to research a lot of the newer vehicles that just came out. So as you can see, I still have some of the lower American ones that I haven't even researched. And I just now, recently got the Whirlwind, so that was something I want to review, but it's going to take time, and that's pretty much because I've been sinking all of it into playing the French and getting the challenges done. So eventually, yes, I will get reviews up of these vehicles. Like, I want to do one on the ARL-44, but I haven't touched it, because I've just been playing the Jumbo, the M4A4 SA50, and the AMX-13 DCA40, because it's a solid lineup for the French in order to get the challenges. So yeah, just letting you know that stuff like the D4Y one will also be looked at, and there are a bunch of other aircraft I want to look at and tanks as well, so I can bring them to you. But a lot of people have asked me, how do I unwind? And the reason for this is because every free-to-play game does get very, very, well, not stressful, but just rage-inducing, I think would be the word. And this is present in a lot of games, especially free-to-play ones. So League of Legends, Dota, I've experienced it in Paragon, Paladins, War Thunder, and there has to be a way to unwind, which isn't just, going out of the game and just going for a walk or something, because sometimes you still want to play with people, sometimes you still want to kick about, and you still want to be able to do all of the challenges. So recently, while doing all of the challenges, I've been taking small breaks after finishing them and doing what I used to do, which is either load up a historical, a dynamic, or a single mission, and just go at it. So as you can see, I have some preferred ones here, but we'll just go Malta. If you have premium accounts, you can actually invite people in, and you can pick what nation you want. So let's just say Germany. You can just say 1945, capture all sectors, realistic battle, simple as that. And what you can do is you can fight against the AI in a pseudo battle setting. Now this, to me, I thought was going to be the basis of what the World War mode would be, and it might be the basis for the Earth or the universe that World War mode is going to be in. But it seems like a lot of the ideas that we're going to get in World War mode are kind of away from the dynamic campaign, the historic campaign, and the single mission. But I have talked about in the past that I feel like single missions, custom missions, dynamic campaigns, historical campaigns are all very good. Mainly down to the fact that, let's say, you are a person who doesn't have a very strong internet connection, or maybe you just don't have a very stable one, where maybe every few days, you have a very, very bad internet connection, where you can still log into the game, you can still play these missions where you don't have to worry about the person-on-person connections. You just face AI. It's also a really good tool to be able to learn how to aim, or, well, not learn how to aim, but just learn leads. So let's say you're struggling with a specific aircraft, you can load up a game with that specific aircraft. Like I've recently, after getting the Whirlwind, been struggling to hit with the guns, because, well, they are Hispano Mark 1s. As you can see, the frame rate is a little bit low right now, so we're just going to look up to the sky for a little bit. There are quite a few people down there, as you can see, so it's a little bit better now. But the initial burst was a little bit too much. But with the Whirlwind, it has Hispano Mark 1s on it. And what that basically means is, well, the Hispano Mark 1s are present on machines such as the Spitfire Mark 2B. Now, for me personally, I haven't flown any aircraft with Hispano Mark 1s in an incredibly long time, and that's because the majority of them are sat at quite low BRs, and I've been trying to grind out some of the other aircraft. I find it, if I have completely completed an aircraft, I generally won't go back to it unless it is a favorite. So the P-47N would be an example of one that I would go back to. The C-205N would be another one. The Spitfire Mark V has a nice little place in my book, but you know, most of them, or the majority of them, I won't go back to. So the way I see this mission mode, you know, you can see it as, well, this is the Siege of Malta, and we're trying to invade it as the Germans in the mid-1940s to try and use it as a base to catapult ourselves in Africa. Like, you can set it up like that if you want, but for me personally, I would rather read about that stuff way up, or maybe some alternate history stuff. But for me, this is a mode, you know, and it can be the single missions, it can be dynamic campaign, it can be historical campaign, it can be the mission editor, it can be custom missions. These are all tools that I can use to work on my aim, and also, you know, work on maneuvers with specific aircraft, or anything like that. And yes, the AI isn't exactly comparable to players. Like, the AI is, let's just say, a little bit dumber than players. It really struggles sometimes, especially with maneuvers. If you don't pull off the maneuvers properly, or at least the AI doesn't feel like you pulled off the maneuvers properly. So what generally happens is you're in a state where you can easily outmaneuver an AI when you really shouldn't be able to. So when it comes to trying to figure out maneuvers and stuff like that, it might not be the best modes to do it. But if you're just looking for something to work out raw aiming, like on the Spitfire here, if I just set up, I'm at 40, I know where to shoot him, I know what lead I need, and then I can just keep hitting him and finally take him out. So that's what this mode here is for. It is, in a sense, a practice mode, and the majority of games out there don't have such a nice, comprehensive single-player component as War Thunder does, especially if we look at some kind of MOBA or MMO experience. The majority of them will have the same maps that you play in the game, with just bots on them, and the bots are coded in specific ways, like they'll use like specific abilities at certain times and all of this. But with the War Thunder stuff, there is definitely a set of randomness to it, you know, with who you're fighting and all of that stuff, and also mission objectives. A lot of the single missions have some interesting mission objectives on them that you can go for. It isn't just always destroy plane A over here. It can also be, you know, there's a bridge over here you have to destroy, maybe you have to follow the convoy, maybe you have to stay low to the water, maybe you have to stay on the water, maybe you have to fly an ME-262 trying to stop, let's just take this guy out, trying to stop stuff getting to Baston, which is one of the missions, and it's very, very fun. And it's nice to see that War Thunder has this really nice single player component. And to be quite honest, it seems to, you know, not many people really talk about it, and I understand that, because a lot of people like War Thunder from the PvP point of view. They like it from the fact that they're playing historical aircraft. You know, obviously the matchmaking isn't historical, but the aircraft themselves are supposed to be. And they're going around playing some of their favorite aircraft of World War II and fighting each other in a historic sense. And for me, that's an amazing thing. Like, I really think that's a cool part of what a game could be, which is why I'm so attracted to War Thunder. My not love of World War II, but my real interest in World War II, and all of the readings that I've done, you know, pretty much all my life at this point. So for me, having a single player area is not just a place where I can practice, it's a place where I can relax and set up scenarios that you generally don't see in game, like specific matchups. Let's go on intercept bombers mission. So we're in the Focke-Wulf A8. No takeoff. I don't really feel like takeoff on the Malta map. But a lot of this game, a lot of people boil down to, it's PvP. And I understand that, like, I get it. But I really like the other elements where AI is involved, which is why I'm a strong proponent of stuff. Why do I have rockets? Oh, these babies. Oh, you can also you can also fly aircraft, which you generally won't fly, or maybe you get aircraft which you have unlocked but you don't have fully upgraded. That can happen as well in this. You can also get special event vehicles sometimes just randomly because they're in the game. They're just not. Oh dear. They just all break their flaps. That seems like a terrible idea. That's a sea fire. Jesus. Fighting the bombers missions is a little bit crazy because they always hit you real hard, and there's not really a lot you can do about it. But yeah, I like the I like the aspect of the game which isn't just PvP, and I understand a lot of people do like that aspect. You know, that's why we have competition surrounding it. That's why the main game modes are focused on PvP action. But for me, I like the idea of stuff like, let's just test these out, or not. Let's just fire them off. I like the fact that it isn't just a singular mode of we need to kill these people. There's a lot more to it than that, and the single missions, dynamic campaigns and all that represent that in a nutshell. It represents the area of the game which isn't always seen that much. Really? Okay. Fine, you get to live today. Also, I spawned and my engine died. Nice. Thanks, Lancasters. Yeah, the intercept bombing missions can be let's just say a little bit of a pain. Let's try and get a last kill. You can also learn the limits of all the aircraft that you use in the game. Like, you can see what they're good at, you can see how far you can dive, you can see when you can use your combat flaps, you can see how far you can push the engine and all of this stuff. All of these tests can be done in this mode, so you don't have to go into a test flight. A lot of people have criticized... Okay, Lancasters. They just crashed. A lot of people have criticized the test flights because it seems like a lot of the time in test flights there seems to be discrepancies between what you actually get in-game compared to what you get in the test flight. Now, I believe in single missions, dynamic campaigns, historical campaigns, it is exactly the same as what you'll get in a normal battle. Like, when it comes to engine performance, when it comes to gun performance. Gun performance may be a little bit iffy, actually, because as you can see, the gun performance may be a little bit iffy because it seems like a lot more of your shots land. So if you're in something with a big gun like a 37mm on a Yak 9T or a 45 on the 9K, you'll generally one-shot everything you touch. But when you actually take it onto, you know, the PvP area, what you'll find is you won't be, you know, killing people in one shot every time. And that's pretty much because... they're all going to go low. That's pretty much because of the hit detection. Now, they have talked about how they've improved the hit detection, or even they've got rid of all of the latency issues, and I'm pretty sure they have, but there's still some there in the form of on-client stuff, whereas in this mode, it's all on your end, so if your end is good, then everything is good. Yeah, I get screwed. I'll just jam all my guns. My engine is black again, because Lancaster. If we can get MGs back up, maybe we get to take one. There's also tactics you can use against the AI, so you might see that they're all forming on the lead plane here. What you'll find is, because they do that, you can take out the lead plane and then everything can kind of go kaput for a while. And it's really fun to do, because the the enemy planes can sometimes just go a little bit insane when it comes to us. There's also a plane behind me here. Why am I... It would be nice if I started off a little bit faster. Mission failed. They got to their targets and we didn't kill them all. We left 3 up. But yeah, so this is just a general video to talk about how do I decompress? How do I, you know, not get as mad at War Thunder as some others do, where, you know, they play for like 6 hours a day and then they just burn out. For me, the main reason why I've never done this is because of the people I have around me when I play, like my mates that I played with for a very long time, and also stuff like this, which means that I can just get away from the PvP side and just relax a little bit. And yeah, you don't get much out of this, like you get a few silver lions and stuff like that, but you know, you're not going to get what you're going to get grinding in a normal game. But for me, it's very important to decompress. After maybe you've had like 5 bad games. Maybe you just load up like a single mission, like you go to battles, you go to single missions. Let's just say you play this one. Find and cover the crashed aircraft, take survivors and retract off the front line. So in this mission, you go to an aircraft which has crashed, you have to land near it quickly, you have to pick up people, and then you have to take off again, while under fire. Doesn't that sound absolutely awesome? And yes, you only get like RP, like this stuff, which I have 25 million of, and then some silver lines, but it's still fun to do. And you can see this one's quite hard, I haven't even done it yet. But a lot of these are stuff that I go, okay, I've had like 5 bad matches, let's just play like this one. And then just, you know, play it for 5-10 minutes and then get back to the grind. So anyway, in the next few days, we'll be having a look at some more reviews and also some other stuff when it comes to War Thunder. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.